Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Fernandez here, joined by our investigative reporter Candice Nguyen. Hi Candice. Our investigative unit dropped a new series online not too long ago titled Overpriced, Overwhelmed, Over It, because we're all over it, quite frankly. The investigation dives into California's wild housing crisis. Now, there are 4 episodes available for you to stream right now. And Candice and the team just released a bonus episode about a man living inside a van to make it out here in the Bay. But before we get into that, Candice, why don't you give us an overview of the first 4 episodes? What did you investigate and what can viewers expect to see?
Yeah, the housing crisis is nothing new. It's such a big thing that impacts really almost everyone in California, especially in the Bay Area in one way or another. And this was our approach to really find out what caused this housing crisis in a way that everyone can understand. You know, it gets really convoluted, it gets into laws and zoning, but we really explained different aspects of this crisis in a very relatable way. And how we did that was explaining one issue, one episode at a time. And in questions that everyday people had, you know, was it landlords? Was it developers? Was it government failures and a lack of foresight? Was it this? Was it that? So we tackled it one piece at a time and answered these questions that really we were getting from our viewers. And quite honestly, we had ourselves. So that's the 4-part series.
Let's get into the story behind this man who's living in a van. Who is he? Why is he doing it? And is it working out for him?
It was really interesting. He told me he's living in his van to address his specific situation about a lack of community. And that sounds odd, right? Why would you live solo in a van when you want community? And he actually found that because he wasn't locked down with these like financial constraints, you know, a lease agreement, or not knowing if his rent's going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, he was able to be mobile and also find people who are also trying to find their own housing solutions and mobile. And he actually found like a pretty good community. So, you know, you're absolutely right. Van living isn't anything new. I think what struck me about this 26-year-old man, Evan Fu, living in his van full time, was really his perspective and philosophy around van living, which he's documenting on YouTube, that's how I found him. And he was really talking about how, especially the younger generation right now, they're so overwhelmed with student debt, this crippling housing crisis that's not just affecting them, it's affecting their whole families, right? Mental health issues like anxiety and depression. And instead of just internalizing that and feeling helpless, he says, I want to do something, and that's better than nothing. So he doesn't have it all figured out yet, but he says, in my specific situation, in his specific situation, this was his way of addressing the problem. By no means is his solution to his housing problem the solution to California's housing crisis. But I found it so interesting that he was trying to find a solution in his whole world, in his own world, and then help find solutions in his community. And that's what we were trying to do. You know, our 4-part series really dug into the problem, but instead of just talking about the problem, I really wanted to keep my eye out for solutions, both big and small. And this was one of them.
Okay, I do want to ask you though, you were there, you took a tour inside the van. Candice, is this feasible for someone that might want to make the transition? Can someone really live inside a van comfortably?
Yes, he's doing it. He's doing it full time, but he is the first one to say that this lifestyle is not for everyone. He's single. He doesn't have kids. He's at a job that actually tells them that I'm living in a van, maybe send my mail to my parents' house. They're, you know, in a totally different city. But he absolutely agrees that this life is not for everyone. And hey, you know, we learned this: one man's housing solution is another person's problem. Not everyone is happy with these vans popping up in their communities, you know, on their streets. In fact, the city of Santa Cruz, where he was there for a while, they got so many complaints that they're actually working on an ordinance to ban oversized vehicles from overnight parking on public streets. Now, it's getting a lot of heat, actually, because some are saying this is criminalizing homelessness. But, you know, the other side of it is actual neighbors being like, hey, we're finding trash. It's not safe. It's hurting our waterways. So that's something that the city of Santa Cruz is still working out, alongside with people like Evan Fu, who are trying to figure out their own solution. And so no, none of this is like a solution, a silver bullet to everything. But what we're trying to do in these stories is to just see how people, both individual people and cities and states, are working on their own solutions.
All right, well, there you have it. You can catch up on the first 4 episodes and watch this bonus segment right now on NBCBayArea.com/overpriced. Thanks, Candice, for coming on.
Thanks, Abby.
All right, and thanks to everyone at home for watching. We'll see you next time.